is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some more Resident Evil Death Island content for you. And if you haven't already noticed, the trailer has come out, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out before we start talking about it. But yeah, Death Island obviously broke the internet yesterday, and it kind of broke a lot of us, including yours truly, because I'm still stuck in euphoria that it kind of exists and this is actually going to happen. But nonetheless, we still hadn't gotten to a full-fledged trailer to today, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. For those of you who don't know, Death Island is a CGI film. It's going to take place in the year 2015. It takes place after Resident Evil 6, but before Resident Evil 7, and the movie is after Vendetta. So basically a couple years before Resident Evil 7, but basically, I think I speak for all of us, the most important part of this movie, and the biggest thing that a lot of people are worried about, and they address it at the very first part of this trailer, is the whole Jill situation. What has Jill been up to? What has she been doing this whole time? And we see that the whole incident with her and Wesker from Resident Evil 5 still kind of impacts her to this day, and she still holds herself accountable. No one else blames her, but she ultimately holds herself accountable, and that's kind of a very Jill Valentine way of doing that. That's something I would expect Jill to do, and she's trying to make amends to that, and it looks like she's trying to get back into the field, which is definitely I want to see addressed here, but it's a good start to start off this movie, because I'll be honest, as I said, the CGI teaser, the biggest reason why I got excited for this movie is seeing Jill, so it's very important that Jill, we get an idea of what she's been up to, what she's been through, and how she's been doing when we haven't seen her all these years, and also see Jill get back in action and do what we'll expect the Jill sandwich to accomplish in this trailer, so, and overall this movie. So let's move on to the next big thing that I noticed, is that a lot of people were saying, well, how are you going to get all these characters together? And honestly, that's kind of not something I really cared too much about. At this point, we just want to see them together, but a lot of people are thinking, you know, they're all with different organizations and stuff, and once again, it doesn't have to be logically make sense, but I don't even think it's that big of a stretch to think of it. Obviously, Chris and Jill at this point in time, BSAA with Rebecca kind of helping them out and assisting them. We also have, obviously, Claire with the, I guess at this point still with Terra Save, but she was checking out some washed up orcas which had a strain of the T virus, which kind of brings her into contact with Jill. And if you don't know, Jill was affected with that. But we also have Leon obviously working for his government stuff that's going to be tied in there. And I believe it's Hunnigan talking to him over. We don't see her, but we hear her voice. It sounds very like Hunnigan. So she even contacts Rebecca. So that's pretty cool. But basically, it just ties up how they're all going to collide together and get on this island of Alcatraz, which they all have in common. All the people infected, they all visit Alcatraz. Which leads us to our next thing, the main villains. And I have to say this right now, they've got to be the dumbest main villains maybe in the history of Resident Evil, because it's bad enough trying to fight one of the main characters, but all four of them on top, plus Rebecca, and who knows, you might have someone else we haven't seen, maybe a Barry. I'm holding out hope for Barry, because you got to have the Stars reunion. But like, you know, you got to be a dumb son of a bitch to get all of them teamed up together. So, but anyway, you have Maria Gomez from Vendetta, and you have this character named Dylan, who, guys, help me out a little bit here. Is he a brand new character? Because it looks like he's a guy that used to work for Umbrella, because they had the flashback of the Umbrella soldiers and stuff, I assume in Raccoon City. And it just looks like, you know, maybe he was one of them, or just by how the trailer is formatted. But is he like a brand new character, or is there like maybe somewhere else? Maybe it was in one of the other movies. As I said, I haven't really watched the other movies. I've seen bits and pieces of them. Well, let me know if he's brand new, or he's actually a character that exists and maybe makes sense. Because I kind of get the sense by the way Jill mentioned his name that she knows him. I don't know if everyone else knows him. Maybe it's just the way the trailer is going to when she says his name. But I don't know if there's like a connection there, and maybe she knows him from that whole incident or whatnot, or maybe it's just, you know, just how it was formulated. But let me know. But anyway, you got these guys, and they're obviously doing something that with the T virus. I don't know how many other viruses they're going to use. You know, Resident Evil, they never stop at one virus. If they can combine all of them, they're going to do it. But because you got to figure, what kind of thing are they going to have to fight? We kind of see the aquatic liquors, or little like blob things, and there's some big gigantic thing. I know we got a big shark, but it's got to be pretty damn impressive because, as you said, you got all these main characters here. They're going to have to be pushed to their limits and stuff because if not, it's going to be a beatdown. But let's get to the next part, which is that apparently the main villains, I guess this is what's going to give them a chance to win. Obviously they're not, but is that they apparently have stolen data on Jill, Claire, Leon, and Chris. What that data is formatted to, I don't know what it means. That's just what the line of dialogue says, and it's kind of funny because I've heard a theory of that, and I know this is just in the future, but the theory of for possibly Resident Evil 9 that the BSAA might have used the DNA or data or genes on past BSAA members to make BSAA army or whatnot based on people like Chris or Jill, and I don't know, that's what they're thinking of. Maybe they're just incorporating battle data into some of these things, kind of similar to what they did with the Nemesis and whatnot. But either way, having all those people on file with data, it's definitely going to make a dangerous bioorganic weapon or BOW. So who knows what they got cooked up. I just hope it's a cool, unique creature, whatever it is. Another cool thing we saw is we see that Jill and Leon, obviously Leon's kind of going the one that's there on his own. He's not teamed up with in the beginning, so them meeting each other out of the blue. But it seems like Jill and Leon go a little blows to each other, which is pretty cool and stuff. Some close quarters combat, because obviously a lot of people wanted to see Jill and Leon interact, and they're going to have a big scene where all these liquor aquatic creatures are coming after them from both sides, and that's going to be an action-packed sequence. No doubt about that. We also have a lot of cool action sequences. As I like a lot of the Jill sequence of her running on the wall with a knife and a spin move. We have a lot of slow-mo action pieces where all 5 of them are dodging some big ass I don't know, fin or tentacle or something. But overall, the biggest thing I just can't wait for, especially this movie, is the thing I really hope they nail, is just the interactions with all these characters. I said we've never seen all these characters on screen before. I like to see cool interaction. I like to see Claire and Jill interact with each other, and it'd be cool. I like to see the original tag team of Chris and Jill. Obviously, Jill and Leon. We got Rebecca thrown in there. Obviously, the Redfields team. That's another thing I hadn't even noticed is it's been 2 decades since we've seen the Redfields team up, Claire and Chris, and not since Code Veronica. So it's things not just we haven't seen in a while, but things we've never seen, period. But it's amazing how this franchise has been here so long, but we've never had even a moment. We've never had 3 of them team up at the same time, the iconic characters, let alone 4 plus Rebecca, who in her own right was the main character of Zero. So, as I said, I'm still holding out hope we get Barry Burton in there, because I love Barry. Well, who doesn't love Barry? It's Barry. Everyone loves Barry. But just to have that full Stars reunion. But another thing is, is this movie setting itself up for something even bigger? Because we obviously know with just the way it looks like it's showing everyone looking great. I know everyone brings up the whole age discussion, but they all look great. They all look like they can throw down anytime they want. And obviously, I don't think you make this movie without having them return. And it's just bringing up more discussion of, obviously people talk about Resident Evil 9, but maybe have some spin-offs. Maybe, you can have a lot of, titles that coincide alongside the main Resident Evil games. More spin-offs, maybe another Revelations or something like that. But also important to the story, which leads up to 9, just so when you get a 9 or a 10, you can have them all rejoin again, because it'd be awesome you get them all joined in a game together, let alone a movie. But a game would just be amazing. But I just hope they include everybody in the next game, or at least respect that, because they're all iconic characters, and we all would love to see and play them again and tag team with them and whatnot. But this movie's definitely got the Resident Evil fandom extremely hyped, and rightfully so, as it comes out July 7th. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Were you like me, just thinking, I just hope they respect Jill, and then now you see this trailer, it's well, damn, they might go above and beyond that. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Tell me if you are excited to see this and what you hope happens in the movie. But that is going to be it. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back in the next one. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.